HRX, in fact, I can tell you a story that I know myself. There's this company who was just on set to shoot stills of Hrithik. Yeah, I'll not name the company obviously, but to shoot stills of Hrithik. That guy himself shot a video for Hrithik on his own and just sent them the edit. I did this, do you like it? He is Hrithik's go-to guy now.
Hi all, welcome to the Strategic Pulse. I'm your host Sudarshan Praveen. Today we have a filmmaker in the house, Mr. Sanil Gosavi. He is the founder of Gosavi Media Solutions. He started his journey at an early age in the content creation space with a review channel. This was at a time when content creation was still finding its feet. His reviews were hilarious. In fact, I used to personally watch his reviews before going for a Bollywood movie. This eventually paved his career in the path of filmmaking and storytelling. He has worked with exciting brands like Taj, ICICI Bank and Glenmark, and also on exciting projects like Into the Wild with superstar Rajinikanth and Bear Grylls. His journey is a reminder of passion, resilience and commitment to growth can turn dreams into reality. Hi Sanil, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, means a lot.
So let's begin with our podcast. You started your review channel at a very young age. Yeah. What inspired you to do that?
So, I didn't start my review channel at all actually. I used to post really unfiltered thoughts about what I felt about films on Facebook when Facebook was a thing. So you know how old I am in this industry now. So when I used to post that, I had a lot of common mutual friends who would watch it, who would read that, who would like it, they would comment on it. And those posts started getting shared. Before sharing was a thing, my friends would share it and ha ha ha, and all of that, and then they would do that. So this girl, via friends, her name was Priya Shetty. She's the one who saw one of those posts and she found it hilarious. At that point of time, they were looking for somebody to host a new movie review show. And then they reached out to me, come for a screen test and all that. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be a filmmaker. I don't want to get into film reviews. I said, no, but it's your own show. You write it, you produce it. I said, let's audition, let's give the screen test and all. So I went and I gave the screen test and all. I don't hear from these guys for a month and a half, 2 months. And then I just called to follow up, ki bhai, kya chal raha hai? Saying, no one from the office called you? I said, no. Saying, you're on the show. But who's going to tell me? Yeah, I have to start shooting in the next 15, 20 days. No one informed you. I said, no one has informed me. And that's how the show happened. So it was something I never planned. And it was something but I enjoy watching films. So my love for cinema did translate into something, but it was like an asymmetrical return. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do.
Yeah. So an asymmetrical return is basically something you just do something and then you kind of get a reward for it.
Right.
So I never really thought me writing statuses on Facebook would lead to something like that. So it was completely unplanned. So that's what I love about that story, that I never did anything to get it. It just kind of happened. So yeah, it was not my channel. However, when I left that show, I did it for 4 years. In the pandemic, I was a little bored and I was like, I've got time and all. So I started it up again in my own show this time, And I was doing it from home and everything. That also got success. But then eventually I was just like, bas ho gaya. Now till when am I going to keep talking about films, I want to make one now, So that's what it was.
This is quite nice to know. In fact, I remember Tanmay Bhatt saying that probably, content creation, getting on a dating app, all these kinds have asymmetric returns. Yeah. So I also wanted to know that you were, I think you had stammering problem before, and it's quite remarkable that you have built a business around your voice. Yeah. So how did you go about achieving this?
Again, see, I don't want to harp the same trumpet, but again, life has been very asymmetrical for me like that. Because I remember I used to love watching the debates that would happen between the inter-school guys, my school versus somebody else's school. And while the stammering problem still persists somewhere, it's not 100% gone, especially when I'm nervous, you can see it coming out a lot. When this happened, and I started doing a lot of my own short films. So in my short films, because you don't have budget for actors, so I had to step in. Okay, I'll act here, I'll do this, I'll do that. So you can't stammer in front of camera. So that confidence and that push that you have to do it is what kind of pushed me towards, getting past that stammering problem. So today, if on camera, weirdly enough, I don't stammer at all. But let's just say if somebody calls me, who's my senior or somebody I'm nervous of and all, I'll stammer more than Shreyas Talpade in Golmaal 3. So so it really fluctuates. So I've come to realize it's a mindset thing. So I have not done anything to get past it apart from the fact that I just have to believe in myself. I've really not done anything about it. Because when I did speech therapy also, I tried it. I used to go to Hirandani Hospital right here. They used to charge $500 a session. I remember that also. And I'm like, it's not having any returns. It's literally doing nothing. Talking to camera, that changed it. Because it's like, you're seeing something watch you. So once you realize that thing's not really judging you, you're the only one who's going to judge yourself, then you suddenly become very confident.
Wow.
So that's how I thank the camera actually for my speech getting solved more than anything else.
Wow, that's so nice to hear. You also started your career at a very young age in the media business.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to do this?
So I've loved film since I was 4. My first movie that I've ever seen as a kid was Lion King. And the first time I went to a theater was for Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Right? Okay. Yeah. So I've grown up with movies. My dad and my mom, both film buffs. Every weekend you'd watch a film. So films having an influence in my life was...
Inevitable.
It had to happen, right? It was inevitable, right? So I always knew I wanted to do something with cinema. I didn't know what to do. But sometimes, I thought, okay, maybe I'll do maybe I'll act, or maybe I'll direct, or maybe I'll write a film. I never realized it. But then there's a certain incident that happened in my life when I was around 16, 17 years old, where I realized that, okay, I think I want to make films now, because I really express your most deepest, darkest desires through writing. That's what writers tend to do all the time. So I started doing that, and it became not only therapeutic, but also became like, oh, I want to pursue this. So I started making short films. And I was making short films in 2010-11. This is the time nobody knew what short films were. And I didn't care what its returns were. Again, asymmetrical returns. I didn't care what its returns were, what it's going to do, what kind of money it was being made at. I didn't care. I remember my first thing that I ever made, I made it in around 2,000 rupees. Then it went to 7,000. Then it went to 15. Then it went to 1.5 lakh. Then it went to 5 lakhs. So, and now I'm doing ads at a multi-lakh budget kind of a thing. So because I've learned it from that ground up, I've understood cinema from nothing. Like shooting with nothing, because had I gone to, let's just say, a big fancy filmmaking school and learned it from there, I would not have known the value of what it is to work with nothing, So, yeah, I feel cinema has taught me everything, because from wanting to get your stories out, which is like such a deep dark desire, you find ways to do it and all that, and then you learn production, then you learn set design, then you learn lighting, then you learn how to do it with no money, right? Because you don't have money. I'm not going to go to my rich father. My father's not rich, but if I go to my rich father and Dad, I want 10 lakhs to make a short film, and my dad will tell me, okay, son, fuck off. It's not like that. So I made a short film, 2,000 rupees.
Wow.
So yeah, cinema has given me everything. It's given me everything. Yeah.
I'm sure there must be a lot of challenges when you were starting out. Would you like to share what all challenges did you face and how did you overcome them?
So when I started I was never good in studies. Although funnily enough, I love reading now and I love gaining all kinds of knowledge and all, but I was horrible in school and college. I just used to pass. I was consistently in the bottom 5 to 10. So the thing is that when I started off, at that given point of time, I didn't know what I was doing, for the lack of a better word. It's not like it was strategy or something else. I just knew मुझे करना है, तो मैं कर रहा हूँ. I want to tell a story, I'm telling it. I want to go and work somewhere, I'm going for it. Till the age of 24, 25, I didn't know I want to get into this business that I'm doing right now. I knew I want to be a filmmaker, but you need to know how to earn money also, right? Yeah. I didn't know how to make money from it. So I just kept at it, and then it kind of just worked itself out. This is actually the story, and people have a hard time believing it and see, the problem is it's not like a multi-crore kind of a startup which is, turned into that kind of a huge empire or something like that. So maybe not many people will hear it, but as many people as will hear it कि आज एक respectable कुछ अगर बना है, it's just because I saw something, I wanted to do it, I did it. The challenges you face are mostly from society, but not from my parents, luckily, touch wood. it was never from my parents. My father knew that okay, he's got something, but he just told me one thing: learn how to make money out of it. If you can't make money out of it, then leave it. And my challenges was mostly society. My mom was not very happy about it. My father's friends were always telling him that, your son is wasting his life. Who's going to watch these short films he's making? Yeah, they're not bad. They're decent to watch. But yeah, who's going to watch it? He has no pull in the industry. No one knows him. How is he going to get into this? It's impossible. So my challenges were mostly society, which sounds like a very first world problem. But I was lucky enough to have a good father. And even though to give all credit to my mother, she was not too for it, but she was always supportive. Like, do it. But they always were sure about the fact that make money out of it.
So for society related problems, I think you just ignored them and you kept going ahead.
I didn't care because the thing is, at the end of the day, they aren't going to come and pay my bills, na?
Right.
Even if I do something that they want me to go ahead and do, if my salary does not come, will they come and pay my bills? They won't. And I realized that very young in life, that advice देने सभी आते हैं, काम करने कोई नहीं आता है. And at that time, I remember, there were a lot of people who were supporting, like my friends, a lot of my family members, a lot of them were supportive at that time. I just kept at it. And I've been indifferent to criticism for a very long time. As you said, I've been on YouTube.
Yeah.
The comment section is brutal. I used to never care about it then. I don't care about it now, and I'll never care about it. Because at the end of the day, my go-to thought is that if my life is my own, I have to lead it on my own. In my good times, a lot of people come to take a piece of the pie. In my bad times, no one's going to come. So let me live it the way I want. No? That's how I look at it.
Very nice, very nice. And in fact, very wise also to think that way. You so initially started with the content creation space and then you transitioned into filmmaking. So how did this journey happen?
I always wanted to be a filmmaker. Content creation came a part of the journey.
Right.
Because my first thing that I ever did in content creation was a short film. So it was this short film called The Abnormal, which got taken down by YouTube because of copyright reasons. We didn't have money for background music and all at that time. So we would use Hans Zimmer ke gaane and all that. And then Warner Brothers comes with a strike and then the video's gone, right? So I made this movie called The Abnormal, and that was my first venture into content making before YouTube was even like a legit business, So reviews were a byproduct of that.
Right. Okay.
And then once I got what I got from the reviews, then I got back into what I was doing. So actually, as I said, the short films have given me everything.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just that.
So how did you go about starting your own media production company?
I realized in around 2019 that I have a special way of viewing stories. I tell them differently. I don't think any of the short films or anything I've made so far comes across, oh my God, that's mind-blowing. I've never had a thought like this. I think hundreds of people have thoughts like that, but I think the way I present it is a little different. And my presentation skills are my strong suit. So I felt like, that at some point of time, if I can present my ideas well, let me try doing it for somebody else. So in 2019, December, a friend of mine and me, we decided ki, let's start something together and let's try telling stories in a more cinematic way and bring back, the great era of ads back in the 90s, when the ad was also a story. That's how it was. Yeah. And saying if you're a writer and if that's your this thing, just go for it. So that's the vision we started the company with. However, with clients, that really doesn't. They always have their own brief, and now I get briefed down to, which light prop should be behind, and they have their own take on that also. So that's really not how it works out, but that was the original thought. Ki I give my own twist to what the client is trying to tell. And it did work out. But yeah, so that's how I just thought I should try and tell stories differently, So that's where the idea came from.
Okay. I'm sure starting a business requires risk-taking ability. So what's one major risk which you took which paid off?
Actually, again, I did not take any risk because in my head, I was not spending 1 rupee towards the infrastructure that I have. It was already all the Apple products I own because that's my main thing. And secondly was I leveraged my vendor network that I already had because of my short films. So I got them together. However, I started in December 2019. We are all forgetting March 2020, the pandemic hit.
Right.
So I'm screwed, right? Because I've just started and all, and if I don't do this, I'll have to find a job. And at a time of the market where offices are only shut. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I have to earn money now. I'm 24, 25. I can't, be at home and live on pocket money. Although, the pocket money is coming from whatever little bit work I was doing here and there. But I can't keep telling my father that, Dad, like, I need to buy this, help me out. I can't keep doing that. So, but that pandemic, which turned out to be a crisis, turned out to be the best opportunity in my life for me.
Wow.
Because at that time, what happened is that all the big production houses, their budgets got slashed because brands suddenly don't have the money anymore, right? Because if you're spending money towards a product to advertise, you need to have profits, right? But everything is closed. So they don't have money anymore. But advertising, they still have to advertise because people are still figuring out the online payments and the Swiggy thing and all of that stuff that has really taken on this thing. So companies that were used to budgets of 50, 60 lakhs, nothing below that, was suddenly getting 5, 6 lakhs, right? Because brands don't have money anymore. They don't have budgets anymore. And these big guys saying, no, we'll not do this. And they didn't realize that this is going to be a while before the budgets come back to normal. Now, because nobody was willing to do it, guys like me benefited the most.
Absolutely.
For me, the biggest budget I'd ever seen was 4-5 lakhs. So suddenly अगर मुझे कोई 7-8 लाख दे रहा है एक टाटा स्काई का ऐड बनाने के लिए, मेरे लिए तो यार वो तो बहुत बड़ा budget हो गया. For me, that's a huge budget. So the skill that I developed turned into an opportunity for me. So once I figured that out, that, oh, this is an opportunity, I leveraged that within the market. So I made an ad with Vikrant Maase. It's for a brand called Nova. People will not believe it, but the production of that ad was 5 lakh rupees. Okay, Vikrant's cost was not in our budget. That the brand took care of. That was not in our budget. But we finished 4 ad shoots in one day. And that budget was 5 lakh rupees. I directed it. But because of that entire leveraging that I gained from my short films, and I knew where to use that skill because I figured it out. It was just 2 pieces of a puzzle that kind of presented itself and I just fit it together. So I think that's what it turned into, where I realized that, okay, and that's what made my work profile and that's what kind of eventually got me to the bigger budgets. So today, even if a 30-40 lakh rupee campaign comes or a 1 CR campaign comes, we can handle it because we started at 2000. You're getting what I'm saying? So yeah, so the pandemic was actually the biggest opportunity for us, which I thought was going to be a business. It was going to be shuttered down for us. It turned out to be the best opportunity for us. I don't like to talk about it because a lot of people lost their livelihoods and their lives and all at that time. But from an entrepreneurial perspective, it was life-changing for me.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, like they say, the pandemic was boon for a lot of people, bane for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the most valuable lesson you have learned as an entrepreneur to build a successful business in the creative industry?
You have to keep going at it, man. I'll tell you something very, very personal now. So I had an incredible 2020 to 2022. My turnovers were 3xing every year.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, boss, that's it. And I paid a huge amount of tax in 22, 23. 23, 24, how much tax I had paid in 22, 23 is the amount of profit I made in 23, 24. That's how bad the dip was. And luckily, because I had not blown all the money and not pissed all my money away, I survived it, right? But then this year, again, it's picked up and all a little bit. And my dad's been an entrepreneur for around, how old is my father now? He's 59. So he's been an entrepreneur for almost 40 years now. Yeah. He told me, he said, Sanil, there are years that are going to make you. There are years that are going to break you. Just keep at it. The minute you stop, is the time it's all over for you. And just manage your money well, because you're going to have a golden period. When that golden period comes, don't piss all your money away. Save it, invest it, grow it. And if you do that at that time, it'll be able to cushion you from the bad times that you get. Luckily, I took that advice from my father. And I feel that is one of the reasons why I've survived. Because I knew this was coming. I just didn't realize the extent of how much it will come. But I knew this was coming. And this year also is going to be average to bad only. Not for me in general, for the market, for the industry. Because marketing right now, budgets are down. And that's fine. But I know post the correction of, once the wars and all stop and once the money comes back into the industry and all of that stuff, it'll start rolling again. but I have to keep at it and I have to keep afloat. And one more thing that I've learned, this is from my grandfather. He was not an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an octroi commissioner. He was an octroi commissioner. But he always told me the rule to a successful business is spend less, earn more. Which is like, I fundamentally disagree with this startup culture of मैं मतलब 5 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट लूंगा, 100 एम्प्लॉय रखूंगा, उनको सैलरी दूंगा, लेकिन बिजनेस क्या, आई एम फिगरिंग इट आउट. दैट्स नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स.
Right.
The most successful businesses start as 1 or 2 people together and then they build from there.
Absolutely.
Would you know how many employees I have? Zero.
Oh.
I have 0 employees. And although today I can afford to, I can afford to hire somebody, I don't do it. I particularly go away from it. I don't do it because my vendors have the freedom to do their own business and they're getting a good cut from what I do. So they're very happy doing it the way it is and the thing is full and my earning is more. So why should I break that cash flow right now? And why should I stick cash flow in one particular stream that, okay, this guy is going to, take care of this job and etc. So and so, so and so. Why should I, block my cash out there? Let cash be flowing. If I don't need him that much, I don't need you. That month I keep the money. So I believe massively in cash flow and very little expenditure. Only spend if it's going to add to your business. And a lot of people think hiring is going to add. Nobody can do what the boss does. They can't. My father ran a very successful business for around 25 years with 1 employee and 12 drivers. Sorry, 14 drivers. 14 drivers and 1 employee. That's it. He didn't need more. It was a very successful business. So I've learned that from my father and from my grandfather. Yeah.
But how do you stay resilient during your tough times? Because like you said, there will be downfalls, there will be down period where things may not be going that well. So how does one stay resilient during such times?
You have to be focused on the end goal here. A lot of people it's like this, a kid is learning to walk. You fall. That doesn't mean you stop walking, na? You still get up and try again. I look at it like that only. Because at the end of the day, I can't turn around and cry about my failures and just give up. Because give up is the easy thing to do. There are so many people out there who are such talented entrepreneurs, but they leave it and they go into doing something where, they leave it and go into doing something that they don't necessarily want to do, but they go for the financial stability. I get it. I understand where that thinking comes from. But I look at it as you didn't love it enough. If you love it enough, it doesn't matter. If your child keeps on getting sick tomorrow, you don't give up on it, right? If I'm shooting a film and the shot is not right and everything is going wrong, I don't shut my film down. I keep doing it until I get it right, and I'll figure out how to make it work later. You can't quit, man. You just can't quit. If you quit, you're done. And if you love it enough, if you go at it enough, you will reach where you want to go. It's as simple as that. My end goal is too important for me rather than these failures to bog me down, to be very honest.
Very, very nice way to take it, Sanil. How do you balance your role as a creative as well as an entrepreneur? Because I believe both demand different skills.
That's the thing I'm struggling with the most, to be honest. For a while, because I got so hung up in turnover and numbers and my Excel sheets and getting business and all of that, I forgot the core of why I'm here is to tell stories, right? So I think till 2019 I wrote around 1 or 2 scripts. From 2020 to 22 I wrote 0. And it just because you get so caught up, feeding the beast, you forget to take a moment back for yourself also. I think in 23, which weirdly enough was a low income year, I got back to it. So it's not something I've actively sought to balance, but I'm getting better at it now. I don't think I'm still very good at it. I'm not a multitasker. I always have somebody, and luckily I'm surrounded by people who really pick up the work for me, so I delegate it really well with them.
Okay.
So I have now started to kind of divide my time between, okay, this is my priority, I'm doing this, I won't take up business at this time. Right now, the money is needed, so I will take up business right now and put this on the back seat. So, because I know now that I'm not a multitasker, I kind of pick and choose what I need to do when. Like, From November to March, it's peak period for people like us, because it's season for us. It's like a shadi ka season, or because at that point of time we get the most amount of business. Ad spends are up and all because of Diwali, New Year, Christmas, this sale, that sale. So you always have something to kind of make something for. And then this Republic Day sales and all come. So ads are really on at that time. So I know at that time I have to keep myself free. However, from June to September, it's a dry period in the industry. So then that's the time I get back to the creative work. So I'm always doing something to ensure कि किसी ना किसी चीज से तो return मिल जाए. That's how it is.
Yeah, in fact, my follow-up question for you was like, how do you balance between your passion work and as well as your commercial work?
That's exactly what I said. Same thing. I think June to October now, September now, is where I'm kind of doing my creative passion-based work because it's freer at that time. It's comparatively free. Then our retainers, they continue, but our new clients are rare in those months. Yeah, in those months, new clients are very rare. But from November to Feb, March, you can't. Otherwise, you won't make money. You'll miss the bus. That's how it is. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you started doing short films at a time when it was not very common. So what motivated you to do this, and what gave you the idea?
It started off actually with a very weird story. I'd gone through one of that pehla pyar wala breakup that happens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when that happened, I kind of wanted to make a short film about it and all that jazz and all, and just kind of like wanted to make a tribute kind of a video and all that cheesy shit because you grow up with Shah Rukh Khan, then that's what happens, So it came from there. So, and that never got made, thank God. That never got made, thank God. But that's what actually gave me the idea of wanting to make short films. Because I realized I can express emotion like this. And I remember I was doing it with my father's handycam at that time. Because that time there were no DSLRs, there was no iPhones and all that. We didn't have all of that, right? So I had my father's trip, we used to go to those handycams, so we were zooming from that little trashy button on the top, that nozzle button that you should have, tuck karke crash zoom in and then it would come out. So I did with that, and that's when I realized, okay, I like making these things. So it was actually that breakup that helped getting me into short films. Otherwise, I don't think it would have happened. But again, there are triggers in life that kind of help you realize these things. So I think that was an unintentional trigger that kind of led to the fact that, okay, I think I want to do this. Yeah.
Okay. How did you approach top platforms like NDTV, IFTDA to feature your work?
I didn't. The problem is, the worst thing you're going to get out of this podcast is I didn't do anything. That's the worst thing you're going to get out of this podcast. Because you'll be like, ठीक है, ज्ञान तो दे दिया, but इसने किया कैसे तो बताया नहीं. Right? But that's the thing I'm trying to tell you. I didn't do it. All I did was I just kept on making my stuff. IFTDA reached out to me. NDTV reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. I had no idea what these things were. I didn't even know what film festivals were. My idea of film festival was this college fest. I used to be in SM Shetty College for 11th and 12th standard. So उधर का फेस्टिवल में डाल के फर्स्ट प्राइज जीतना और 500 रुपये का कैश प्राइज मिलना was film festival for me. I had no idea what these things were. So then I realized, okay, there's an online procedure, form, and all that. So it came to me after I started doing this. And then, of course, you figure it out and then you start doing more and more stuff. But NDTV, I didn't convince them at all because they had this segment to screen short films, I think, every Sunday. I forgot. It was on NDTV Profit or something. And my short film, 5 Minutes with God, really actually did well at that time. It crossed over like around 3-4 lakh views, and for a film in 2017, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and NDTV spotted it. But I remember somebody from a very big production house, the owner of that production house, had sent me a message saying, I loved your short film, it was incredible, would love to work with you. Tried to reach out to him later, that didn't happen. But again, that's how it just kind of all happened once I just went to do the work. It's that thing in Bhagavad Gita they say, na, karm kiya ja, phal ki chinta na kar. I just did my karm, bro, and it just kept on happening. That's what it was.
Wow.
There's no secret to it.
And how was the experience working in the project Into the Wild with Rajinikanth and Bear Grylls?
So I didn't work with them directly. I worked on the promo, and when we got this call, I was very surprised. Because Discovery is reaching out to you, it's a big thing. and we had to sign major NDAs and all of that. But we did have somebody got the photo shoot done for that poster that was there, and that was very overwhelming because uska edit hamare paas tha, right? So it was something that kind of was a landmark, and this is again pandemic time. This is a little post when the pandemic was ending. This was at that time, and it was overwhelming because you've got that kind of a name onto your brand now. So and that really boosted my career post that, because then post that the budgets you start getting were better, brands that want to collaborate with you are better. So yeah, it did help a lot. Yeah.
And you also work with top brands like ICICI Bank, Taj, Glenmark. What was your learnings with them and key takeaways?
As far as the brands go, every brand is different. I've realized that you can't, as easy as it is to make fun of the client on LinkedIn, the the client is not same. Every client is different and they want different things. Like I used to do a lot of videos for HRX, right? So HRX is a far more liberal client in terms of creative control. They let you do what you want. Now, I'll not name the other client, but there are clients who will get into, as I was saying, that what lamp should be put where in the frame. They'll get into the color of that color code is in contrast to our brand, so we'll not allow it. So it's absolutely bizarre the kind of people you meet, and there are some clients who are the best. I recently worked with this corporate film. I recently worked on this corporate film called Koso. I even worked with this this fintech app called Lane Dane Club. Very liberal client. They let you do what you want. They let you take the creative calls. Yeah, go for it, and all that. So it depends from client to client. But my experience overall has been a very mixed bag. Some clients have absolutely loved. Some clients have been a nightmare. And some clients also, as far as that also goes, some clients also respect the vendor being paid on time a lot, which is
Very nice.
essential because cash flow is everything. That's how it is. We have to, GST doesn't wait for us. We have to pay GST on the 20th of every month. And if the client doesn't pay on time, that goes out of your money, and then that money comes 3-4 months later. So yeah, I've had a very mixed experience with clients, to be very honest. Yeah.
So like you said, you were getting clients organically, but say for somebody starting out, how should they go about getting their first few clients?
So I get this question a lot, and I keep on telling people that clients will not hire you without seeing your work. And if you're new, then never. I was lucky because it was during the pandemic and they needed somebody and nobody's coming. So they took a risk on me based on the little work that I'd done before. But everybody getting into the industry at this stage, considering the competition is so tight, because now those top brands who would not give budgets at those prices are now giving competitive prices even to us, which we can't beat because they have to survive, right? So it's come down to that. So I would just tell people, find your niche, find your USP, and keep making content around it, even though if it's not paid. I have a friend of mine who does something incredible. He made his own Parle-G ad. It was not for Parle-G. He just made it.
Oh.
He just made it and he sent it to Parle-G. HRX, in fact, I can tell you a story that I know myself. There's this company who was just on set to shoot stills of Hrithik. Yeah, I'll not name the company obviously, but to shoot stills of Hrithik. That guy himself shot a video for Hrithik on his own and just sent them the edit. I did this, do you like it? He's Hrithik's go-to guy now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's Hrithik's go-to guy now. You have to do these things because in the market's not going to welcome you. If you think the market's going to welcome you because you're talented and all that, no. People with half your talent will do much better than you in business because they know how to crush you. So you need to figure out how to make your voice reach those people. I've realized that just keep on, if you want to make it into this field, make sure you have a resume of work on you or there's a network to back you. Network will always help you, but let's just say if you don't have the network, which most of us don't, just keep on doing work, sending emails to people, sending your work to people. One guy sometime or the other will take a shot on you because they'll take a chance with you. And the guy who does, that's where you'll start. Then you'll perhaps get one client in 2-3 months. Then it'll become 2 clients in 1 month. Then you'll start getting retainer clients. That's how it is. But it's a waiting game and you have to be at it constantly. Send out your portfolio to multiple people. Send out cold emailers. Send out your videos. Create videos just for the heck of it and keep on sending it out to people. कोई ना कोई response देगा ही देगा eventually.
Wow.
That's what I have learned at least.
So how do you go about in your media production company now? Because I believe you're already set up in some ways, but you also have tough competition. So what sets you apart?
Now there are only two things that set you apart, to be very honest. Your treatment of how you're treating the subject, if the client wants that, brand value, and also brand value also incorporates trust. So brand value and treatment are the only two things that get you this. Like AIB, for example, they are not AIB anymore, but when AIB as a group, their idea was to start a niche of comedy that we'll use in advertising. So that is why you see, your Samaran and all doing so well now, because they've adopted that. They've started using that in advertising. They roast the brand, right? That's what they do, and that was started by AIB. And AIB started, okay, we'll do sketch comedy, we'll not take ourselves too seriously, etc., etc. So you figure out your niche and create a brand around it. That's the only way to, earn big scale money. Talent and the client's word. There'll be thousands of people to fight you on that, and you're not going to win that race. That's the truth.
Okay. So like you said, you don't have any permanent fixed employees, but what qualities do you look for when you want to collaborate with somebody?
Honestly, there's a friend of mine, his name is Akshat. I asked him the same question many years ago. And he told me, he's like, it's one thing. Work and all can be meh. It's fine. Let the work not be great. But make sure you can trust that guy with your life. He says, I know the people sitting around me, if I put 10 lakhs hard cash in front of them, they'll not, 500 रुपए का नोट नहीं जाएगा उसमें से. You need to trust your people, man. Everybody who I work with, I trust them blindly. If I am not there, they'll take care of it. Even if they don't do a great job, they'll know I'll come and take care of that. So you need to make sure your people are trustworthy, they're loyal, and they're hardworking. That's it. How skilled they are, how this they are, and all. ठीक है, that has its own place. I'm not saying no, but I would always put loyalty and trustworthiness above skill, because unfortunately, skill is great for perhaps one project, but an employee you want for life, right? You want an employee as long as you can. That person needs to be trustworthy, because if that person trusts you, respects you, is not taking you for granted, bet on that person more than the skilled guy, because the skilled guy will eventually go somewhere else. The trustworthy, loyal guy will only improve your business.
Nice. As a young entrepreneur, how did you gain trust and respect amongst your clients and your people you work with?
It was a long process, man. It was a really long process. As I said, I think once those two ads that I did for Tata Sky and for Nova, I think that's where that thing came up. Because Tata Sky was done in 7-8 lakhs and Nova was done in 5.5. I'm not really sure. And these are big brands, And when that, and word spreads, because the client is never at one company, he goes to another. They're never at one company. They always leave and they go to another, and then they spread the word. Oh, you need production, call.
Yeah.
Right, because they realize that बिना पैसों को उसने काम किया है, तो पैसों के साथ तो क्या करे?
Yeah.
So I feel that's what happened. Word of mouth is the strongest thing, and I think that goes for all spheres of business. Whether I think, be it customer service, be it politics, be it films, if the word of mouth is strong on you, nothing beats that PR. That's how it is. Yeah. So the word of mouth was good on me, and that's how people started trusting me. All my clients that I have today that are regular with me are all word of mouth. None of them have come through a single post I've done on Instagram. Marketing rarely has an effect on people who trust you. It's very weird. People will not realize this, and no offense to the marketing people out there, but I don't think, if tomorrow, if you, I don't think marketing usually makes brands. Marketing can amplify your reliability message, which people already believe. Like, for example, Toyota is a reliable brand. That car won't break. It'll give you 5 lakh kilometers. You know it. You don't need an ad to come and tell you that. The ad will just amplify that message.
Yeah.
So I think this work you do and what your clients believe in and what your customers believe in is what kind of eventually translates onto you doing good business rather than what marketing does for you.
Okay. So, since you have set up your own media production company, and I'm sure our viewer, somebody would be interested to start their own, what does it take to set up your own production company? What are the various costs involved? What are the various streams of revenue? And how long does it take to get break-even and profitable?
See, I It depends on what kind of production you want to get into. I think start with nothing. I don't think that getting funds and like, getting one or two employees and, just start with nothing. Everything is available on rent. There are many vendors in the market. Start with nothing. Start and try just getting a client first. Try doing that. Once your income is stable, then look into buying some stuff that, okay, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to invest in a camera. I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to invest in that. हाथ में कुछ नहीं है, खर्चा बहुत करना है. Right. First get a client, get some people to work together, go ahead with it, see how it's going on, and then see what requirement is coming to your business. It's like I'm not going to buy a newborn baby a princess crown, right? Until I've just loaded with money and I just want to blow money, right? But I'm not going to buy. The kid doesn't need it. If I've got limited funds, what am I going to buy it? Will I buy the kid a diaper? Will I buy it a crown? I'm going to buy the kid a diaper, right? So figure out what you need first for the business. I think production houses don't need that much. You just need few motivated people. You need a client. Figure out the ways of the business and then go ahead. And streams of revenue, as far as streams of revenue goes, I think people are getting heavily into the IP race. I genuinely think businesses should go into unique marketing tactics. Like for example, like when somebody comes up with a business, they have an idea of why they're doing it, right? So if tomorrow you as a production house or a marketing company have a very unique spin on it, do it that way. So I feel that streams of revenue will be figured out with time. Don't get into the IP race just because I want an additional stream of revenue, because that's a long path. Do what works first, become a brand first, become reliable amongst this thing, have enough cash flow, and then look at this. For me, it's a very step-by-step process. A lot of people will disagree with me on this. They'll all be like, no, let's get funds, let's do this, let's do that, let's have all the streams ready, and we'll see and we'll see what sticks. No, just do what your core is first. Start with telling a story, start with presenting something in a different way, and get the money going. Then come to maybe one or two employees. Then perhaps go into, okay, now if the client is not there, how else do I earn money from this? It's something you learn on the way and go with it. Yeah. I don't believe, like Apple bought its services revenue the last 4-5 years. They were never a services company. They started off with one small computer, and today they're in 20 products. So I feel that's how growth of a company should be.
Right. What role does technology play in streamlining your operations?
Everything. A good laptop is everything for us. Because I'll tell you, my entire office is in my car inside a bag right now.
Wow.
It's because it's my laptop, my Excel sheets, my scripts, my emails, my edits are all on that laptop. That laptop crashes, my business crashes right now. That's how it is. So I feel technology is everything now, and AI, bro. AI has become, we are using AI videos and images for our clients now, and they want it to be a part of the narrative now. It's crazy. So make sure your tech is good. See, it's like this, when people often cheap out on buying a good phone or buying a good car. It's a waste of money. It's not a waste of money. You're investing. This is where investment comes in. You're talking about getting funds and all of that. Invest in good products that help you advance your business. So if you're buying a camera tomorrow, because you are shooting every day. I've got like 25 shoots. If I rent every day, then my renting of a camera will be 3,000-4,000 rupees. With 2 lenses will be around. So I'm spending 6-7 grand. So 7 grand into 30 will be around to 21,000 bucks a month. Right? I got
2.1 lakhs.
Sorry, 2.1 lakhs. Yeah, see, I have a CA. Thankfully, huh? It's 2.1 lakhs a month, and my per day earning is around 25,000 for that work. If I buy the camera at this point, eventually it'll pay for itself, and then post that it's all profit. So there it makes sense. Invest in good products because it's going to give you returns. I know somebody who's bought around 10, they've bought cameras, they've bought mics, they've bought this thing and all that. And now his business is paying for itself. Now he charges the same. In fact, his rates go up now every year, and now the profit is 100% his because the seed capital is paid for. So that's what it is. So I feel invest where it's required. Definitely invest in good tech, and definitely invest in something that is getting you business for sure.
Are there any ad campaigns which you're particularly proud of?
I'm very proud of what we did for Neobar. I'm very proud of what we did for Neobar. I'm very proud of what we did for Lane Dane. I'm very proud of. I'm also very proud of what we did for Foreman and Crack Cream. These were a few 4-5 commercials that I'm very proud of because I remember we've done it in crunch time, and it's had the most returns for us. Like what I did for Crack Cream, the brief came to me on Friday and Monday we were shooting. That's how it was, and it turned out to be one of our most successful ad campaigns. So yeah, it's something that, because the virality of it when it happens, then you realize, oh, I just kind of tried to salvage the situation and it just kind of worked out. So yeah, it was very satisfying when you see the result on something you don't expect at all.
How do you try to be profitable while also, building and delivering high quality content?
It's a good question because sometimes not all the time, sometimes you can't think about profit. Like I just did a music video. I went to Delhi for around 2-3 days and I did a music video. I didn't get my prize, but I did it nonetheless because a friend was setting up a company. Now, but because he set up that company, he's going to get, it's already streamlined his next set of revenue and I'm on it and then I'm going to make money. So in our business, it's not like, it's not like one of those things where you just go into it, profit. It's not like kinare ka dukan. It's not like that. It's a thing built on trust. It's a thing built on good gestures. It's a thing built on good faith. So sometimes even if you don't make money, but you win over the person, you will make money long term. However, this investment doesn't pay off all the time. There are clients who will exploit you. Next time I will give you. It's the biggest lie in the world, right? Next time I will give you, and then next time never comes. But you have to keep doing it once in a while to ensure that when that time comes, because that does happen, there's a huge stream of revenue that gets thrown at you. That's how it works in this business, because this business has a lot of emotion in it also. It's not a bank statement kind of business. It's not like that. It's a very emotional business where, because brands also come to you because they're putting their baby product and they give it in your hands. Go talk about my baby, That's how it is. And if you do it well, no, my baby is only in this person's hand, So that's the emotion, that's where it comes from. So if you give that person that trust, ki main khada hu tere liye,
Right.
they will stand by you. This industry works on that only. Yeah.
You also mentioned earlier that networking is quite important, and like you said, not everybody will have access to good networks. So what suggestion would you give to go about networking, and are there any networking events or something which they can sign up and which will give them a kickstart?
There are, and they usually charge hefty fees for those things. Like I have a person who's charging around 60-70 grand a year for it. And, I don't recommend these things because I don't find it's necessary. A lot of people do it. See, if you've got the funds and it doesn't make if 50-60 grand does not make a difference to you, then please go ahead and do it. But most entrepreneurs in this country, 50-60 grand is a lot of money, right? If you earn 50-60 grand a month, you are in the top 2% of this country, right? So you can't be spending that money for networking, that with no guarantees. It's not like you get the money back if you don't get any business. They keep the money. So there are these events. I don't know about other industries, but my industry, I don't know whether it works or not. What does work is recommendations. If somebody recommends you, because as I said, it's a business about trust and business about trust, with emotion and word of mouth. And eventually that's what you have to build on. It's not like, one of those corporate sales or those corporate services kind of thing where, okay, let's Google this company, let's see what their annual turnover is, let's see who their clients are and all that. Doesn't work like that. 9 out of 10 times you will be, when I used to work for Lodha, for example, 6 of my previous clients were called to do a background check on me. Not for any other reason, not because they didn't trust me, because they want to know उसने काम से ठीक से किया, because profile तो अच्छा है. But because that's the trust they are coming to you with, right? So that's what you have to do. These networking events and all, I don't have a very favorable opinion of them. At least from my industry's perspective. From the others, I don't know.
Okay. What's the misconception about entrepreneurship which you would like to clarify?
It's a good question. People think that it's supposed to give back to you. कि अगर मैंने इतना मेहनत किया मैं दूंगा. Your business doesn't owe you anything. You're getting what I'm saying? You only owe it to the business. You owe your blood, sweat, sleep, personal life to the business. If you can't compromise on that, your business will give nothing to you. It's like money, right? Do you deserve to have money? No. Money is not anybody's birthright. You earn money. So you earn your business. And your business will let you down. Your business will fail. It's going to do a lot of things wrong before it does it right. But again, it's like your kid, right? You can't give up on your kid. You keep going at it. So I think entrepreneurs need to figure out that your business doesn't owe you anything.
Nice. Looking back, would you have done something differently as an entrepreneur in your journey so far?
I would have, I think I would send out cold emails, network more. See, today I know how to handle a client better because life has taught me. I wish I had that experience as, just as a part of my personality so that I could have perhaps been at a much better stage than I am right now. Because as I said, right now I'm here Ram Bharose. But going forward, it won't be the case. But I wish that I knew that before on how to network, how to talk to people, what the client likes to hear. Those things I wish the corporate talk, like, yes, sir, we'll get back to you EOD. Don't worry, sir, will be taken care of. How to give 2 terms and conditions, those kind of things. Those are things you learn on the job. I wish I knew them before, so I would stick more towards the larger vision. And also, I wish my vision that is large now was larger from day one. So I feel I would have been 5 years more into my career than I am right now.
Okay. And if you wouldn't be doing this business, then what would be an alternative path which you would be choosing?
This is my alternative path. My actual business is filmmaking, which I am not doing right now. This is the alternative path. Me doing these shadis and me doing this marketing and this media production house and all is my alternative path. And I'm doing this just because मुझे bill भरना है और मुझे मेरे गाड़ी का EMI देना है. There is no other reason why I'm doing this. If the minute I get into films, I won't stop this because I remember, like, I used to always say in the start, the day I make it into films, na, ये मैं छोड़ दूंगा. And a person way more successful than me told me, saying, Pagal, don't make that blunder. Films will come and go. This will be your bread and butter always. And if you get into films, this will only do better. Why are you shutting down a stream of revenue? Don't do that. Keep at it. So I feel my alternative career has happened first. Like my reviews happened first. My businesses happened first. The main thing's not happened only yet.
So in your alternative career, in your own words, what's the most unique request you have received from a client?
Dude, I have to tell you this story. So there was this one client, there's this builder. This is again in the early parts of my career when I'm trying to make it. There was this builder. Okay, he's a Gujarati builder, and I'd gone to Andheri to have this meeting with him. And his budget was 25,000 rupees to make a film. Like, he had some footage of his factory and he just wanted to edit and put it together and just make a video. Like, cool. Simple. This is 2015 I'm talking about. So I go to the guy's office and all that. He's giving the brief about what his buildings do, this, that, and all. I'm like, listening. Okay, so it'll be done. Very simple job. Right as about to leave, he tells me, Beta, I wanted to remember one thing. Let's do something different, beta. This same old stuff is not good. Let's do something different. Like, 25,000 mein different? Okay, let's hear him out. Kya karna hai aapko different, sir? Beta, have you seen the film Bajirao Mastani? Like, how do you have the guts to say 25,000 and Bajirao Mastani in the same line is something I don't understand. Saying, beta, have you seen those horses on the India map in the starting sequence that keep running and then the entire Indian map goes saffron because the horses are running, showcasing how Bajirao took over India? I'm like, yeah, what about it? We should do the same thing with our buildings. Ki yahan aa gaya, now we are also taking over India. It's an incredible idea, sir. Outstanding. However, उसको VFX बोलते हैं और उसका एक फ्रेम का खर्चा 1.5 से 2 लाख रुपए होता है. अगर आपको 30 सेकंड भी निकालना है, you're the better one at the math, you do the math, 60 lakhs, right? We've got at least amount 60 lakhs of budget. I'll get it done, so not a problem. So you stick to the same thing, beta, but you know what I mean. ऐसा पलटी खा गया ना वो 5 minutes after hearing what VFX was. This is the most bizarre request I've gotten from a client. And you hear this all the time. And they're so clueless. They're so clueless, some of them. But but it's like an arranged marriage. You have to kind of make it work. अभी शादी हो गई है तो अभी
चलाना पड़ेगा.
अभी चलाना पड़ेगा. जैसे ही प्रोजेक्ट हो गया, थैंक गॉड आई एम डन विथ यू एंड टाटा बाय बाय.
So since we're talking about films here, if you could direct a film, what story would that be, or which actor would you cast in it?
See, I have around 7 to 8 scripts. 4 are written, 3 are left. 4 are left. And every script has its own actors. And that's purely from a script perspective. But there are 2 actors I really want to work with in my life. However, both of these actors don't fit into any of the stories I've written so far, but I want to work with them. One is obviously Mr. Bachchan.
Okay.
The living legend. He's entertained 3 generations of my family, my grandfather, my father, and me. And the funniest thing is I don't have a single character for him, but I just hope I get to do an ad with him at least someday. At least an ad, that's how it is. And second is Ranbir Kapoor. I would love to work with Ranbir Kapoor. He's the way he talks about his directors and the way his directors speak about him, he completely gives himself to the director. And I would really love to have that process with such a man's talent who seems to have no bounds, And I feel, the way he's going, if things continue like this, he'll be the next Amitabh Bachchan, or the first Ranbir Kapoor. So he has that potential. So these are the 2 actors I want to work with. One with that 50 years of experience and one with the man who's going to give this industry 50 years of experience. So yeah, these are the 2 actors I'm really dying to work with. Yeah.
Wow. What's your favorite part of being an entrepreneur and also a filmmaker?
I love that every time you take that step, you feel like I'm getting closer to my dream. That feels too good, yaar. Like when I started, you feel like, मैं कैसे करूँगा ये and all. It's very overwhelming. It's like your first day at school. Right. And then a year into it, you're like, अरे ये तो अपना अड्डा है. You're getting what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like I'm a year into school. I'm not graduated yet. I'm not close to graduation, but I'm a year into school. अभी मेरा अड्डा है. But I'm reaching towards my 10th standard. I feel that way. So yeah, I think that's a great high. Every time you feel you're progressing, you're getting one step closer to the dream. I think that's what it is. That's what I like the most about being an entrepreneur.
And a filmmaker?
Filmmaker, it's a very different thing. Filmmaker, I don't see filmmaker as entrepreneurship or something. I look at it as therapy. I genuinely do look at it like that, because every filmmaker I've spoken to, Ram Gopal Verma, Suresh Triveni, they leave a lot of their personal selves behind in the characters or in the story, and they emote something about themselves that they've always wanted to say. And when the audience likes it, that part of you gets validated, right? So it's the most narcissistic way of seeking validation, in the most healthy way possible also. And I feel it's very therapeutic. So once you tell your story and if it is liked, you feel like that part of you feels satisfied. So that's how I look at filmmaking. For me, it's like, because now if you think about any great movie you watched, give me 2 films that you just can't get enough of.
I recently saw Tu Jhooti Main Makkar again on Netflix. Loved it. And also saw Kal Ho Na Ho. 2 different movies, but yeah.
Kal Ho Na Ho, now for example, Kal Ho Na is one of my favorite Shah Rukh movies of all time. People say DDLJ, I say Kal Ho Na Ho. Eventually, what connects with Kal Ho Na Ho with you, that character gives up the love of his life because it's the right thing to do for her. That's what stays with you. Not the songs and all just add to the shosha of it. But that's the emotion that stays with you, right? That always stays with you. That's why it's such a film that released in 2003 is still sticking with you, right? So that's what I feel is the best part about filmmaking, that many years down the line, you kind of have that memory of it. And I would like, more than the business or anything, of course, business is important if you want to keep on making films. But more than anything, I hope like some kid in 2003, or in this case 25, 26, watches my movie and then when he turns 30 says that about my film. So that's what I want. The box office and all comes and goes, that's fine, but I want that. So that's what I seek from it. Yeah.
You want to leave a legacy behind?
Yeah, not even a legacy behind. See, when you see Sholay or Mughal-e-Azam or Godfather, or you see Lion King, you don't care who the director is, right? You care about what the story is, right? So for me, I don't even know who's Lion King's director, not the new one, or the old one, right? The 94, I don't know, I'll have to actually check. But that's what you remember the story. And I want that story of mine that I want to tell to last with somebody. It's okay if they don't remember me, that's fine, I don't care. But remember the story I was trying to tell. That's all. Yeah. Because you remember Cinderella. Do you know who wrote it? Yeah. That's how it is.
So, what's your vision for your media production company for the coming years?
At this point of time, I want to massively get into two things. One is I want to make it synonymous with not being a production house, with it being me. Like, the reason why I named it Gosavi Media Solutions is because it's an extension of me. So if tomorrow I say I'm going to GMS for this thing, it means I'm going to Sanil. You know, that kind of a thing. I don't want it to be synonymous with just another brand with an ideology book and this, that and all. I'm going to this thing. So my idea is that when you say GMS, I'm going to Sanil Gosavi to kind of get his treatment onto my work. So that's what it is. I have another company called Vows and Viva, which is a wedding filmmaking brand. And again, that also is the same thing where I wanted to be synonymous with, okay, Sanil is doing my stuff, I trust him. Because as I said, trust is everything in this business. So I want trust to be my brand going forward. That's what it is, which is synonymous with me. That's how it is.
Okay. Are there any uncharted territories or genres which you'd like to explore in the future?
I would love to make a horror film, but I have no stories for it. I would love to make a comedy movie, but I have no stories for it. And I don't think I'll ever be able to do those. Those are the, you know, people don't give these two genres enough credit. Everyone goes to the psychological thriller, action, and some segments would go for rom-coms. No one goes for these two genres, but it's the toughest to write these genres. I just wrote a script where I had to give some comedic scenes and all. It's the toughest thing to do, man. Like, I think a drama film with multiple characters, you know, family drama movies are the toughest to write because you're starting on a dry note. Family dramas usually don't excite people, right? So I'm starting with around 5-6 characters. Each character has to be very interesting. They have to have their own arc. They need to be very interesting. Am I watch if it's fun or not? You know, those kind of things. It's very difficult to do that well. And if I ask you to name 5 family dramas, you'll struggle.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah, you'll struggle. But the ones that are good, you'll never forget. Like, I don't think, okay, I personally am not a fan, but people don't forget Hum Saath Saath Hai, yaar. They remember that movie like it's everything. Hum Saath Saath. For me, it's K3G. K3G was if you think about it, a lot of writers would, you know, what is that movie? But K3G, the difficulty it was to write 6 superstars into a film. It's incredible. It's the toughest genre. So horror, family drama, and perhaps a comedy. Toughest things to write.
And do you have plans to expand into feature films or other creative formats?
That has been my plan since I was 15. Now I'm 30. So I'm still waiting for that thing to happen. See, I have pitched it around. In 2019, I was actively pitching. One of my films, Raika, that I had written, I pitched it to around 40 actors. All of them said no. So either they don't get it or I'm delusional. Either one of the two things is there. So I'm actively pursuing it and I really want to do it. I just hope that that opportunity is around the corner. I am writing something to give towards somebody and let's see whether that works out or not. But again, you know how these things are, you know, until it's not on paper, until I'm not on set to shoot, it's not confirmed. So I'm thinking of it as not happening only right now. And let's see. If it happens, then great. If it doesn't happen, I'll keep trying.
So this brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you, Sanil, for doing this. It was a pleasure having you here and wish you good luck for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. And I really hope I hope your podcast does well. And every listener who kind of, gets something out of it, not just with my podcast, with any podcast of you. And stick to the authentic self of yours, man, of trying to tell the entrepreneur story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you for watching this episode till the very end. I hope you found this episode to be valuable and insightful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as your support will help us grow and bring you more insightful conversations. We would love to hear from you. Please share your takeaways from this episode in the comment section below. We are welcoming entrepreneurs from all walks of life. If you or someone you know would like to feature as a guest in our podcast, then please fill the Google form as seen in the description below. We will reach out. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.